Introduction. I don't know what to say. I recently consulted with a large technology company on how to effectively engage in bold, inclusive conversations. Based on topics I explore in We Can't Talk About That at Work, How to Talk About Race, Religion, and Politics, and Other Polarizing Topics, one of the participants, a leader in the organization, asked how he might have handled a difficult situation in the moment. This company is very progressive in advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion, and routinely offers structured opportunities for employees to share their unique experiences, to tell their stories. To demonstrate vulnerability, one of the company's values, this leader shared a story about a time when he made a mistake when referring to someone in the LGBTQ community. He used the wrong terminology, which upset the employee. His purpose for sharing this situation was to illustrate that we will make mistakes, but we can recover from them if we are willing to acknowledge our mistakes and learn from them. As this leader was sharing the story, several in the audience of about 300 were snickering and laughing. Although he was not sure what sparked the laughter, it made him feel very uncomfortable. He thought perhaps the laughter was targeted at the particular reference to the LGBTQ community because it seemed to start at the point where he named the mistake. What should he do? Address the situation in real time, or wait until after the session and reach out to those who were laughing? If he chooses to address it immediately, what should he say? If he does not address it immediately, what will other participants think? If he addresses it immediately, will he embarrass the perpetrators? I share my perspective on this example in Chapter 4. At another site conducting a similar session on bold, inclusive conversations, a client asked, "What do I do when people accuse me of being too sensitive when I bring up something I feel is inappropriate? For example, it is common in this organization for people to use the phrase 'you guys' generically across gender identities. I admit that I'm guilty of using that phrase pretty indiscriminately as well. So when a participant brought it up, it gave me pause. This participant wanted to know if there are boundaries to inclusion and if we are just moving to an environment of extreme political correctness where anything you say might be interpreted as racist, sexist, homophobic, or xenophobic. Is this the world we really want to live in? The client asked, how do we talk about this? I share my answer in Chapter 11. In yet another situation, the client brought the Winters Group in because they were hearing rumblings from white male employees who had been with the company for a number of years that they did not feel relevant anymore. If you are not a woman, a person of color, or from the LGBTQ community, as the sentiment was described, you don't seem to matter much anymore. How do we ensure that everybody feels like they belong? How do we talk about this? Listen to my ideas in Chapter 10. In a cultural proficiency session with teachers in a public school system, one of the participants shared her belief that Black parents do not care as much about their children's education. Another participant vehemently disagreed, and an uncomfortable conversation ensued. What should the facilitator do to turn the conversation into an effective learning experience that maintains the dignity of all involved? I discuss this issue in Chapter 7. In each of the scenarios, the questions are the same. How do we have meaningful conversations across difference? How do we know the right things to say? Conversations about any challenging, controversial topic are not easy, and conversations about topics that deal with dimensions of diversity are even harder and require a different skill set. Leaders, employees, educators, and students all need to learn how to dialogue across difference to achieve organizational goals.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.